Man, so many great conversations lately, but a lot of they're always mind-blowing, but man, I really wish I could repeat them all, but they were so intricate, but I kept indulging in them, and that's why I didn't record them, and I kept saying I really should, and then just never did. This one I did find very interesting, that what I recall of it, I can't recall it all. But, and it was a long story, and it was a conversation over days. More or less, they kept having me record things or listen to old recordings, and it was how I saw it, or how I was translating what they were teaching me, showing me. I understood it. And then, per usual, they'll take me to different spots. 99% of the time, it's in the Bible these days. Meaning verses, Rumi, or somewhere else, even though they're telling me the same stories. Also, it's just, I've gotten familiar with this. Anyway. Oh, man. How can I explain that? So everything they were having me understand and translate and experience, and through my own life and my own feelings and my own experiences, and then recording about it and listening to old recordings and how I was wording things and yada yada, then they'll take me to a place in the Bible and it's like the same experience, the same lesson, sometimes even similar wording, which does freak me out sometimes. It really does. It's like, wait a minute. What the fuck? Where am I? What's happening? And, but here I'm trying to get to what I found really interesting was there was things that I was experiencing, and it's like, I'm always learning from them. So even from my experiences, then we learn together, like they'll teach me. And so it was like I was learning the same lesson that somebody else was learning in the Bible, right? And so similar language, similar experience, but their interpretation of said experience was opposite of mine. How can I really want to be able to explain this well, because I think it's interesting. It was like I was dealing with a loving mother who was teaching me, and they were dealing with a raging father that was dealing with them. Exact same results, exact same discipline and everything. But their interpretation of what was occurring was harsh or horrific, and mine was firm and disciplined. Like, oh, I get you. Thank you for loving me so much that you're standing firm there. It's like... God, it's so interesting. Even when they were explaining something in the Bible, the way they were explaining it was horrific. And yet, the way they had me explain the same thing that they had me listen to prior to reading it, they even had me use the same language so that it was so they could show me the difference, right? In other words, I even thought it was funny how they had me use certain words. And I was like, oh, that's so exactly how it feels. Like a waterfall. It was like a waterfall flooding me with unconditional love and light, cleansing me, and it felt so good, and I just felt the love, and I, all this stuff. Well, it was like they might not have used waterfall, but the point is they used the same word, whatever word I used, they used the same one, but they used it like it was like a waterfall beating down and wouldn't ever let up, drowning them. They couldn't breathe, something... which they're showing something else now. Oh my God, please let's not. All of these interpretations on different vibrations we've talked about. But so I do find that fascinating. And I know we've talked about it before. I think the reason they just showed me that is because I guess we have talked about it like that before. We have talked about it how when I'm conversing with them and how I hear it is that I guess it's at a higher frequency because it's a loving frequency, versus sometimes the translations that come through in the Bible, because they sound so horrific, I'm like, oh, they were translating at a lower frequency. And not that it's not right, not that it's not true, not that it's not accurate, not that it's not their truth. That's why it's still truth. But it's fascinating to me that the exact same experience seen through two different lenses can have entirely different outcomes. That's what I think they're pointing out, because they just showed another interpretation, which is wild to me. It is it is wild to me that they'll show a lot. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Sometimes they'll show it through like a sexual translation, and it's amazing when you see it that way. You're like, holy shit, I can't believe they said that in the Bible. Like what they're meaning there. Like kneading the dough. I mean, oh my God. Never did I hear it that way until it rises again. Oh my God. Like I didn't hear these things that way. But they can be interpreted that way. In other words, all of them can be interpreted on whatever frequency you hear them, right? Like it gets normalized on those frequencies. How can I explain that better? Like I have shared with you that they will have me say things, and I am translating it and interpreting it through my lens and how I understand it, and I share it. And it's pure and it's true and it's what it is for me. And then I'll listen to it later, but they'll have me at a different frequency, and I'm like, holy shit. That's not what I meant. They're like, yeah, we know. But if depending on what frequency you're at, that's how it'll be heard. So it always depends on where people are at, determines what they're hearing. It's like where their mind goes, is where their energy flows. That's where they live. That's what they, and so it can be confusing. I'm trying to say what they're showing here. It's like this idea of, it's different than how I've said it before, where it's like you can communicate with everybody. People can hear it. You can, and this has happened. This has happened to me a lot, where you are communicating and they are picking up what you're putting down, but they're not picking it up at the level you're putting it down. So let's use that same simple example. You could be speaking from love, but they could be translating in the form of lust, but you're not coding lust. And yet that's what they hear, because that's where they live. That's what they think of. That's where their mind is. And so the two of you can continue the conversation seamlessly, but you're coming from two different places. So you could walk away thinking they understood, and they could walk away thinking you understood. And yet no real communication was had, because neither one of you were communicating at the same frequency. The reason I find that interesting, and I think it's important to point out for some reason, and I'm not sure the reason just yet, is oftentimes we talk about the opposite. We talk about, I guess it's the same thing, but it's said a different way. I'm used to saying they can't hear you. It's like, no, they can hear you, but they're not hearing what your intentions were. Your intentions were pure, but they can't reach that pure, it's like that pure level, because they're at a lower level. So they're interpreting at a lower level. So they heard it, but they didn't hear your intention. And so I say it like, they just can't hear you. You can't communicate because you're not getting across to them. And yet they wouldn't know that or understand that. They thought that you were all communicating. They thought it was clear. Like, it's like, what was the problem? And you don't realize that there was a problem because they didn't think there was a problem. So there was no indication of loss of communication. Does this make sense to everybody? They're bringing me back to the waterfall. I think what I found, I did find it really fascinating. I always find it fascinating that we are all just living the same experiences over and over and over and over again. It's like until you learn those lessons, but that's what makes the world go round. It's just the same. It's on repeat, 1 through 10, and start again. And maybe it's 1 through 10 on level 1. And if you can bust through level 1, you get to go to 1 through 10 through level 2. But if you can't, you just go through 1 through 10 on level 1 forevermore. And then when you finally bust through, you get to go through 1 through 10 on level 2 and level 3 and level 4. Like the idea of new level, new devil. Oh, the idea of it's integrating more and more, your understanding at a deeper level, which is raising your frequency or dropping your resistance. However you want to say it, it's saying the same thing. I find it funny, though, that we do, that's what they're showing in all this. People will argue the same point, but they'll say it backwards or a different way. And per usual, we're all saying the same damn thing. It's just where you're coming from. So stupid. It's like a bunch of hot air is basically what it is. Oh, God. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.